According to Carl Jung's psychological insights, these 8 indicators will assist in recognizing individuals who harbor hidden animosity towards you. May wish to observe your shortcomings. One indication is their lack of support for your achievements. When an individual truly values your presence, they commemorate your achievements with the same fervor as if they were their own. They exhibit enthusiasm, pose inquiries, and convey genuine joy for your accomplishments. Nevertheless, individuals who harbor unspoken animosity towards you often struggle to express authentic happiness for your successes. Observe these telling responses, swiftly diverting the conversation following your positive news, offering tepid congratulations before shifting focus, or entirely minimizing your achievement with remarks such as, "Oh, that's something anyone could have accomplished," or "You merely experienced a fortuitous occurrence." Jung noted that this behavior arises from profound feelings of envy. Your accomplishments evoke their insecurities, rendering it difficult for them to recognize your successes. They may be concerned that your achievements somehow undermine their own standing or bring attention to their perceived shortcomings. It is essential to recognize that authentic support includes both the journey of your development and the ultimate outcomes. Indications arise when they deliberately make efforts to marginalize your presence. The intentional act of exclusion unveils profound negative emotions. When an individual harbors a concealed aversion towards you, they orchestrate circumstances that result in your exclusion from events, discussions, or assemblies in which you would typically participate. Such occurrences seldom transpire by mere chance. One may observe acquaintances unexpectedly arranging activities without prior notification, despite one's usual inclusion in the collective. It is possible that dialogues shift abruptly upon one's entrance, implying that the subjects at hand are deemed unsuitable for one's ears. Jung acknowledged exclusion as a significant manifestation of social rejection. When an individual intentionally excludes you, they convey a distinct message regarding your worth, all while preserving a veneer of plausible deniability through justifications such as, "I assumed someone else had invited you," or "It was merely a last-minute decision." The pattern of this behavior is particularly revealing. It is not uncommon for individuals to overlook the inclusion of others from time to time. However, when a particular individual repeatedly neglects to acknowledge your presence, it suggests a deliberate choice rather than mere oversight. Sign 3 engages in rivalry with you regarding all matters. Although healthy competition can serve as a source of motivation, it is essential to recognize the distinction between amicable rivalry and an individual who transforms every interaction into a contest due to underlying feelings of resentment. Jung posited that an overabundance of competitiveness often conceals profound insecurity and animosity. When an individual engages in competition with you across a spectrum of domains, from professional accomplishments to personal achievements, social media interactions, or even inconsequential issues such as parking spaces, they are disclosing an intrinsic desire to establish their own superiority. This behavior emerges when discussions frequently transform into chances for them to surpass your experiences. For instance, if you share a vacation anecdote, they promptly counter with elaborate accounts of their own more extravagant journey. When you bring up a challenge, they swiftly interject with a more significant issue they have triumphed over. They seem unable to permit you even a fleeting moment in the limelight. This arises from their view of you as a potential adversary rather than an ally. Each accomplishment or admirable trait you hold seems to overshadow others, fostering an unspoken compulsion to perpetually assert superiority. Sign 4. They emulate your actions solely to surpass you. Although imitation may be seen as a form of flattery, it is essential to recognize the difference between drawing inspiration from someone and deliberately replicating their work with the intent to surpass or displace them. This conduct unveils profound animosity and jealousy. One may observe that this individual begins to emulate your interests, stylistic preferences, or modes of expression soon after your introduction. Instead of recognizing your impact, they portray these aspects as their own inception, frequently asserting a greater authenticity or proficiency in your domain. For instance, following your introduction of a new hobby, they may suddenly immerse themselves in the same pursuit, often equipped with costly tools or networks unavailable to you. Additionally, they might echo your distinctive viewpoints to others, presenting them as their original insights, subtly conveying the notion that they can surpass your capabilities. Jung posits that this arises from a multifaceted interplay of jealousy and a lack of confidence in one's identity, manifested through the appropriation of that which distinguishes or elevates an individual. They seek to assert those attributes while undermining your uniqueness. Be vigilant if they exhibit a dismissive attitude towards the very elements they have appropriated from you, particularly in light of your ongoing success in those domains. This paradoxical conduct of imitating you while concurrently undermining what has been appropriated unmistakably indicates the presence of deeper negative sentiments. Sign 5. They frequently interrupt or speak over you. Communication patterns can reveal significant insights into an individual's genuine emotions. When an individual persistently interrupts you, speaks over you, or disregards your contributions, they're exhibiting a profound absence of respect that frequently suggests underlying negative attitudes. Jung acknowledged that our modes of communication reveal underlying attitudes we hold towards others. An individual who holds you in high regard will intentionally create room for your voice. Attentively consider your viewpoints and interact thoughtfully with your concepts, even amidst differing opinions. Conversely, an individual who harbors animosity will struggle to extend this fundamental courtesy. They may interrupt you abruptly, steering discussions away from the subjects you bring up, or displaying clear disinterest while you're articulating your thoughts. Even more telling is their response when confronted about this behavior. An individual who holds you in esteem is likely to express remorse and seek to enhance their conduct, whereas a person harboring adverse sentiments may react defensively, refute their actions, or even attribute the issue to your perceived lack of engagement. Jung would interpret this as an implicit endeavor to assert dominance and manipulate the narrative. By interrupting, they are effectively conveying that your thoughts and perspectives hold less significance than their own, or perhaps are deemed entirely inconsequential. Sign 6. They reference your past mistakes. All individuals are prone to errors. However, a notable distinction exists between the sporadic acknowledgement of pertinent historical occurrences and the deliberate retention of an exhaustive record of one's shortcomings to be invoked at opportune times. Jung recognized that our inclination to concentrate on the errors of others frequently unveils deeper insights into our own psychological condition. When an individual persistently references your past mistakes or moments of embarrassment, they are indicating a preference to characterize you by your least favorable experiences rather than acknowledging your development. One may observe that they possess an extraordinary recollection of the minutiae surrounding your past missteps, all the while conveniently overlooking their own analogous transgressions. They may frequently bring up these memories in the presence of others or during instances when you're experiencing a sense of confidence. The significance of this lies in the context and timing. Individuals who genuinely care for you may choose to address past errors in a private, compassionate, and constructive manner. Conversely, those who harbor negative sentiments are likely to raise these issues in public forums, where you're unable to adequately defend yourself, often during unrelated conversations, celebrations of success, or by embellishing the details to amplify the severity of the situation. Jung posits that such behavior frequently arises from a reluctance to confront one's own flaws. By maintaining a focus on your errors, they evade the necessity of addressing their own shortcomings, all the while eroding your self-assurance. When they deride your passions, or aspirations are passions, and aspirations embody the essence of our most exposed identities. By sharing these elements, we provide a glimpse into the sources of our joy and the values we hold dear. The manner in which an individual responds to these revelations profoundly reflects their genuine sentiments towards you. Jung discerned that diminishing another's profound passions seldom pertains to those aspirations. It concerns the reduction of the visionary. When an individual persistently ridicules or diminishes that which holds significance for you, they are disclosing a profound disregard for your inner landscape. One may observe individuals employing sardonic remarks regarding your passions, utilizing condescending phrases such as "that's merely a pastime," or "you're not being practical," or perhaps discreetly exhibiting eye-rolling when you convey your excitement. Criticism may be presented under the guise of practicality or as a means to spare one from disappointment. However, such justifications seldom align with the tone employed. The selective nature of this behavior serves to underscore its revealing characteristics. An individual who truly demonstrates care may, at times, articulate apprehensions regarding particular elements of your plans, all the while endorsing your overarching trajectory and honoring your independence. This conduct frequently arises from their own unmet aspirations or apprehensions of being overshadowed. By stifling your enthusiasm, they cultivate an environment in which the pursuit of dreams appears futile, thereby rationalizing their own hesitance to embrace risks. Sign 8 indicates that they appropriate your ideas or efforts. The ultimate indication is a propensity to assert ownership over your contributions, ideas, or achievements. This conduct demonstrates a reluctance to recognize your worth and potential. Jung noted that our capacity to acknowledge the contributions of others is indicative of our genuine disposition towards them. An individual who holds you in esteem will inherently strive to ensure that you attain the recognition you deserve, even when such actions yield no immediate advantage for themselves. Conversely, an individual who harbors unspoken animosity towards you might repeatedly assert control over your ideas, presenting your contributions as their own, or discreetly alter the narrative to downplay your involvement in successful endeavors. One may observe the use of expressions such as I was mentioning previously, following the introduction of a concept, or the employment of "we" when referring to a project that was predominantly undertaken individually. Additionally, there may be instances of reiterating one's contributions without proper recognition. This intentionally diminishes your position and reputation. By methodically appropriating your intellectual and practical contributions, they enhance their own status at your direct expense. A zero-sum approach that unveils deep-seated underlying animosity. It is essential to recognize that discerning these indicators does not stem from a place of paranoia or a predisposition to assume the worst in others. Rather, it is an exercise in valuing your own experiences and intuition, particularly when an individual's behavior repeatedly reflects a deficiency in respect, support, or goodwill towards you. I appreciate your engagement with this video. If you found this information beneficial, kindly consider liking and subscribing for further insights into the intricacies of human behavior and the cultivation of healthier relationships. We invite you to articulate your reflections and insights in the comments section below. Furthermore, it is essential to recognize that you are worthy of connections characterized by authentic support and mutual respect.